coalition.
I will also ask my questions in English. Your French is all right. Thank you.
We've heard, as I understood it from what you said before, and also from a previous witness, that global affairs is concerned about foreign interference, not just by foreign states, but also interference by foreign non-state entities. Yes. Now, global affairs, when it's dealing with interference with foreign states, has tools like diplomatic initiatives, which are not available when dealing with foreign non-state entities. And my question is, what tools does global affairs have to deal with or counter foreign interference with non-state entities?
On le prend un peu différemment. On le prend via.
So then we have sanctions against those individuals.
One can see on the internet from Global Affairs a list of persons who are sanctioned. Mm-hmm. And one can see the reasons that they're sanctioned. Mm-hmm. Now, if someone makes a request for sanctions and the request is granted, mm-hmm. one can see the result. If someone makes a request for sanctions and the request is denied, mm-hmm. is the person who makes the request ever informed?
Je pense pas qu'il y a un...
So at GAC, there's no process that allows someone to ask for sanctions and then get information in return. The sanctions and penalties regime was put in place approximately in 2018. And then there are two different pieces of legislation. So if first there needs to be a violation of human rights to have sanctions or corruption issues. So what we do at GAC, and also I want to say this should not be based on intelligence. It should be open source information that's available to the public. I would like to give an example. In Haiti, we decided to sanction several former politicians. Based on corruption. And we also targeted members of the economic elite in order to reach a democratic process in Haiti. The goal was to have a transition committee in order to put an end to the political crisis. So if there are any representations, this will be made through groups that will come to the ministry or to my office, and we can work hand in hand with those groups. And sometimes we decide to move forward, and other times the sanction group is overwhelmed, and then we have to prioritize. Sometimes some sanctions have not been established yet, but they are in the pipeline. So since 2018, actually, since my arrival and the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, since then, I think we had approximately 4,000 to 5,000 individuals who have been sanctioned.
Different legislation and there's different sanction mm-hmm. lists, and that the process is informal. Mm-hmm. Would you favor a consolidation of the various sanction regimes and a more formal process of decision for and against?
I am ready to reshape this sanction process. However, there are challenges. When we sanction, we also need security agencies to follow up with all those people. When we sanction those individuals, it is important for those entities or individuals to cease their operations in Canada. And that's what I am worried about. There are challenges. Are we able to do this follow-up for each individual that has been sanctioned? 5,000 people, that's a lot of people. So we need to make sure that if those people try to enter Canada, that they will be denied entry.
Madam Justice, I realize my time is short, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
I'd like to ask for document SOM 4 to be put up. It's a summary of memo to Cabinet as to, yes. We have the French version here on the screen. So earlier on, you were asked if you had received any specific briefings on foreign interference before a certain point in time in 2023. And in your answer, you spoke to HASA. And so could you explain to us the contact that you had with this brief to Cabinet? And then I'll show you a specific paragraph. I remember that the department informed me that there was a coordination issue with regards to foreign interference, and that we had to make sure that different agencies would work together. So there's a process that was created with a procedure to be followed. At that time, a memo to Cabinet was written so that it would become the official process that would be used by Canada and throughout the federal apparatus. And so I said, yes, that's a great idea. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Question. And we see that this is presented to the Cabinet in May 2022. Yes. And in the context of the presentation of this brief, do you receive information or briefings on the nature of the issue? Answer, no. No. And at the time, in May 2022, it was the beginning of the war in Ukraine. So my question was, how are we going to be able to manage the Russian threat to Canada? And this is what I had in my mind. And also to find out if, essentially, other countries were adopting the same approach. How can I say this? It's not linked to information, but more to see if the process is similar to what we see elsewhere, because we're not the only country facing this issue, especially at a time, well, when the Ukraine war started, the tectonic plates of world geopolitics changed, were started to move around. And that is why I was asking the question, if it was a good way to manage the crisis. Question, so other than this brief that was presented to you and your colleagues, you didn't receive any additional briefings? Answer, no. Those are all my questions. Thank you. Thank you.